He was a lover of folk music. He was an activist. He was a trade unionist. Folk music and his passion for changing the world and making it a better place and for social justice was sort of a perfect coming together, because it was a time when there was a lot of collective singing for change going on. So the idea that singing wasn't necessarily about being entertained or about being performed to, it was about participating. And I think he got very early on that there was something about singing together, singing in a group, singing in a collectivity that was sort of magical. That something happened that everybody who was on that picket line or in that concert hall or in that community center were greater than the sum of their parts.
In that era, if you're getting a bunch of people together to sing together, you'd call it a hootenanny. That's just what it got known. It became known as a sing-along, right? A community sing-along, a hootenanny.
We started the Spirit of Rasputin's in 2009. We were resurrecting the Spirit of Rasputin's after the original one had a fire and closed down. So by 2010, we were running concerts and at the Elmdale Tavern, which was becoming a real music hub. It was a great place. We had lots of things going on there, lots of great music, jam sessions, open stages, and then the concerts. Then Gil passed away. So the idea came up, let's do some sort of concert where we do protest music, and we could do it just in a way that we celebrated Gil. So we got the Spirit of Rasputin's people together, and we decided to start these concerts.
If I had a song,
she had a song,
I would sing it in the morning.
Sing it in the morning. In the morning.
Then I'd sing it in the evening.
All night long.
All over this land.
All over this land.
Singing out of danger. Sing out a warning. Yeah, I'd sing out the love between my brothers and my sisters. All over this land.
The singing event that started after Gil passed away is carrying on, and here we are in the 10th edition. And that is really a beautiful, fabulous thing that the community all created together. And it has had many, many positive results, including the fact that every year on May the 1st now, and this will be the 10th time, people in the community get together and sing songs of hope and songs of protest. And that in itself is a very, very good thing, even if it only happens once a year. So Gil would be delighted, Helen would be delighted, and it's a really excellent thing that our community has created together. And we do have to keep singing them more and more all the time, and creating new ones. So again, that's why the GilsHootenanny has had a really positive effect in terms of creating songs that live on, even though they're created for that event. They are powerful enough and relevant enough that they live on and add one more item in the array of songs that people can raise their voices with together and make something positive happen, even just for their spirit, let's say, just to keep fighting the good fight. And in some cases, for a song like We Shall Overcome, it can be much more than that. If you get 200,000 people singing that song, that gets the power of change up to a whole new level.
The whole
My mom, Helen, was at every single Hootenanny until the last one in 2018 because she died later that year. I always would sort of brace myself and wait for Helen's comments at the end of the Hootenanny because she would give it to me straight and she would say, I really, really liked this person and those songs. And I have to tell you that at the last Hootenanny, and of course none of us knew that would be her last Hootenanny, we were only about 10 minutes into the Hootenanny. The Hootenanny band was belting out, I can't remember what, and my mom leans over to me. She's 94 years old, and she says, this is like the old days, with a great big smile on her face. And I thought, oh my God, we've arrived, you know.
'Cause all we need is right here. All we need, all we need, all we need is right here. All we need, all we need, all we need is right here.
So Pete Seeger, who had been singing in the States through the war and afterwards and into the 50s, by himself with others, most famously with the Weavers, was blacklisted in the States because of his political views. He was branded a communist. He was sent to jail. He couldn't get work. So he was really relegated to college campuses in the States, which was where he did a lot of his singing. But he could come to Canada. So in 1957, my dad, along with two other friends, Harvey Glatt and Max Sternthal, decided that they wanted to bring Pete Seeger to Ottawa. And I know that they had to put up $25 each to rent the hall. And it was at Fisher Park High School, it was a high school then, auditorium. And it was fabulous. I was there. I was 6 years old. I remember just really being proud of my dad that he was one of the people who had brought this beloved Pete, who I had been listening to for years on the records.
That was just part of Gil, and I think that's part of what he did with the union too. He researched what was wrong out there, and he figured out how to fix it.
So this shows the connection between Gil Levine and Pete Seeger in terms of values and the whole concept of the power of song and people singing together to have immense positive benefit.
Won't you join in? Please sing along. Sing in harmony, forever rich and strong. Let your voices ring, hear them rise and fall. Feel the love that echoes from these walls.
I feel lucky to have grown up with those songs and the love of collective singing.
You don't get that many opportunities these days to sing together with a bunch of other people that are just singing together. It's a powerful experience. It's moving and it's deeply primal, deeply human. We're designed to sing. We're designed to respond to music and singing. It's not just an accident. It's part of our biology. And many people don't have the opportunity to do that. It's just the way it is these days.
Over time, it just developed into a bigger need for people who were requesting that they participate more. And so I remember committee meetings where we talked about coming up with creative ideas of how to get people more engaged.
And the Gills Hootenanny Band, which was another way of extending the whole idea of what is this Hootenanny thing? How can it have more impact? Let's have a band that learns certain repertoire, and they're all songs of hope and protest that you can sing along with easily.
So Gills Hootenanny offers the opportunity for others to have a voice, not just one that's relevant to a period in time that, unfortunately, some of it still remains very relevant.
So there were Mayday parties at the house, and there were Hootenannies at the house. Everybody was invited.
He loved the idea of people singing together. When he went to the Hootenanny at their place, he had contacted everybody ahead of time and asked them to prepare a song to bring, to contribute. So then what happened in those events is it went around the room from one person to the next, and each person said, here's the song I brought, and here's why I brought it. Now let's all sing it together.
And it was like a song circle. Everybody went home singing.
The song contest first ran in 2014 at the Montgomery Legion on Kent Street.
In the Gills Hootenanny organizing meetings, we actually created the words "sing alongable" to describe what it is about a song, that you can hear it and you can sing it right away. You can pick it up easily, it's hummable, it's memorable. That's an attribute that we specifically asked for in the songwriting contest, and people delivered.
In 2015, the memorable Harperman, sung by Tony Turner, won that contest and became history.
When Tony got suspended from work because of the Harperman video, things really blew up.
And it led to a cross-Canada sing-along. Not only was it easy to sing along with, it was a really positive protest song that you could dance to and at the same time go down the list of all the transgressions of that particular regime. So the fact that this song came out of Gills Hootenanny as a byproduct is a really beautiful thing.
We want you gone, 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 you and your gone, gone, gone. No more gone, gone, gone. Time to move on. Get out of town, town, town. Don't want you round, round, round. Harperman, it's time for you to go.
Now we need another song for the current regime. But that's another story.
In 2017, the Gills group decided to give back to the community with a free workshop in songwriting. Jamie Anderson, an Ottawa-based singer-songwriter, author, and teacher, led the workshop, designed really to bring more songwriters into the environment, writing songs of hope and protest.
I'll start with love and kindness and move the world along.
Ain't nothing wrong with the world, a little hope won't cure.
If we put our heads together, we can change how things are run.
Now I speak up, now I speak up, now I walking, now I moving, I'm coming home, I'm coming home. Next.
Well, we started calling it Gills in the Schools originally, and it originated from a message on our website, GilsHootenanny.ca. And I guess this very creative high school teacher did his research and thought we might be a group that could help out. And he was wanting to animate his history class. They were finishing study of the Vietnam War era, And he thought it would be great to have some musicians come in and share some music from the time. We really were excited and are excited anytime we can get younger people involved.
I thought when we started the thing, they'd all sleep through it, you know. Mind you, the teacher's just really, really good. And they are really into it, and we can get those kids to sing our songs, which is just, and then at the end, you know, they thank us, and they shake our hands, and they say, wow, great class, and then all that. It's really gratifying to do that.
I had met a woman at the Blue Skies Music Festival a few years ago. I had been in her workshop. Her name is Eve-Marie Brunel. She is from Montreal, and she has a great big community choir in Montreal called Alléchante. And we cooked up the idea of the big sing, and she was here in November of 2018. So it ended up being a sold-out event with her sprinkling of magic, her incredible voice and talent, and her talent as a leader had the whole room singing just wonderful songs. Her songs are very much in keeping with the spirit of GilsHootenanny. We knew that we needed sponsorships. We didn't have any money. We were really pleased with the response from a good number of the unions in town. And because we get these sponsorships, we're able to keep the ticket price really low, which is very important to us. The ticket price has always been $10, and we have no intention of raising it.
After a lot of back and forth, it was decided that Spirit of Rasputin's would take care of all the financial stuff and all the corporate stuff and all that sort of thing, and leave the actual Gills Committee to just worry about organizing a really super event.
So we see it as a great partnership between the unions and the Hootenanny and Spirit of Rasputin's.
After I was no longer treasurer of the Spirit of Rasputin's, I kind of hung around because the Gills Committee is so nice to work with.
A light of a much brighter kind.